When it comes to SQL, there are the havings and the having nots. And after today's training, you can be one of the havings. Hi, I'm Brian Amrine with Value Driven Analytics, and in today's training session, I'm going to show you how to use a having clause to filter on aggregated measures. This is different from a where statement. Where statements are applied at the row level, but a having statement can be used to filter at the aggregated level. Now I'll walk through this concept in SQL Server Management Studio today, but this concept, the having clause, can be used in any SQL platform. Here we are in SQL Server Management Studio, where I'll walk through how to use a having statement. And we're going to have a sales use case today. We'll have one table, a very simple use case. It's the same table or very similar to what we used for our rank statement in a recent video I created. Show how to use ranking to deduplicate a table. But today we'll be walking through the having statement. Now the having statement is a really simple concept. So you don't necessarily need to follow along like I am here and write the same code unless you want to. But this can be applied to any SQL platform, any table. So feel free to take a table that you're using. Maybe you have access to a similar sales table and you can apply the concept there. It's very simple. I'm using a database that I've created called Value Driven Analytics. I'm going to go ahead and create this schema, which is like a folder of tables within a database called Having Illustration. I'm going to run this code, and then I'm going to create a table within the Value Driven Analytics database within the Having Illustration schema called Sales. This table will be called Sales, and I'm just going to create the template here. It's going to have 3 fields, customer, product, and sales. It's basically going to be a table that's 1 row per line item, sales line item, or sales grouped by customer and product. And then we're going to insert 5 rows total. These rows, and we're just inserting them manually here. And the first thing we're going to do is take a look at this table now that we've populated it. So we'll do select star from our table name here. Have a look. Of course, you can see the records right here. But we've got 1 row for a customer, Sam. He bought 2 model builds, and then Brent bought 5 model builds, 5 automated data validation products. Susan bought 2 interactive dashboards and 3 analytics consultations. So that's our data set for today, just 5 rows. Now our use case today is we would like to write a query that pulls back a list of customers. So we're looking for a result that is 1 row per customer that only includes customers with at least 8 unit sales, 8 total sales across all the products. That's what we're looking for. So you might think, perhaps initially you might go to a where statement. Okay, we need to filter. You need just those cases where their sales are at least 8. And so you might add a where statement here and say where the sales column is greater than 8. And we'll run that. Let's just see what happens here. Nothing is returned. Okay, so again, hopefully you realize that that is not the correct answer, that there is a customer that has at least 8 sales here. And I guess we do greater than or equal to as well. But if you didn't, you would send this out and say, oh, we've never had any customers that have done at least 8 sales with us. And we would be wrong. If we just run the statement again without the where statement, so I'm not highlighting the where statement here, we can see that Brent he's had 10 sales. So he would qualify for that list. Brent should be showing up in that list. The reason that he's not being returned is his 10 sales are spread across 2 line items. 5 model builds and 5 automated data validations, or more generally spread across multiple rows. So if we want to filter on sales at the customer level, we're going to need to aggregate at the customer level. So we'll go ahead and select the customer field. We will sum, we're going to aggregate at the customer level, so we'll sum their sales across customers. Maybe we'll call this total sales, giving this column an alias using the as keyword here, from the exact same table and we will group by customer. Grouping, the group by function is a great way to aggregate in conjunction with using an aggregation function like sum in this case. Those work together. And let's just see what our results look like when we write our query that way. Great, okay. So one thing that happened is we only have one row per customer now, which is great. But we have their total sales aggregated across products now. Well, again, if we just take this where statement we were using before and apply that, it's not going to return any rows in this case. Yeah, what happened? I thought Brent had 10 sales, so he should qualify. He's had more than 8 sales. Why did he disappear from the list? Makes sense that the other two did. Well, it was being applied at the row level. This was being ran before any aggregation was happening. So if we want to apply this filter to an aggregated measure, in this case the sum of sales across a particular customer, we would take that aggregated measure, whatever it is. It might be the max of something, the sum, the min. There's so many SQL aggregations. Whatever that aggregated measure is, that's what you would use in your having statement. Now a having statement will come after the group by statement. So it'll come right after that. You don't want to put it before. It does matter where you put this having statement. So having sum of sales, and then we're going to do greater than or equal to 8. And if we had an order by statement, it would come before that order by statement. So let's just say we want to order by customer as well. It would come between the group by and the order by statement. So now let's run this statement to see what happens. Brent shows up again. Really cool. So that's what we want. We need to apply this filter after you've aggregated the customer level. Looks like Susan had 5 sales here, so if we lower this threshold to 5 or more, and notice they were spread across 2 and 3, across 2 different rows, now Susan would show up as well. So that's a having statement, a great way to filter at an aggregated level. Where you did have frustration, I hope you're now having fun. And if you are, please consider liking this video. Please consider leaving a comment if you have any more questions. And of course, if you'd like to see more SQL videos like this and beyond, please consider subscribing to our Value Driven Analytics channel. I hope to see you in the next video.